All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here for our fourth and final public meeting of this part of the Miracle Mile Improvement and Revitalization Project. My name's Giuseppe, or Joey Nespoli. I'm joined by Linda Chia. We are with Value Management Strategies, and we were brought on this project by Caltrans to help facilitate and support the ad hoc work group through this process. A couple logistical things before we get started. For emergencies, for emergency exits, if there's an incident or situation, the entrance that we all came through is where we will go. Please make sure that we exit safely and safely. Don't trample over anyone. Also, we don't have any hamburgers, french fries, or any food here, but we do have water in the back of the room, so if you're thirsty, you're welcome to help yourselves to that, as well as the restrooms are located out that door to the right. You do not need to wiggle the handle, it's locked, but you just push the door. Or as I was saying to someone else, there's a magic knock. You knock 3 times and then push the door, and it will open. Today is an opportunity to celebrate all the great work done by the ad hoc work group, you, the public, who've been attending these meetings, as well as the subcommittee members who have been part of these discussions. Through this process, we want to remind you that there will be 2 public comment periods that you'll have the opportunity to get up and speak. We will do our best to allow for responses if there are questions. You'll be given a minute each, and we'll talk through the instructions when we get to that part. But we want to make sure that we think about what we share and that we stay on topic. Invite you all to look around the room at each other. Take a look at who's here in this space. Some of you have been here since the first public meeting. Some of you have been in the subcommittee meeting. Some of you have participated virtually or sent in emails with comments or questions to Caltrans. You all are here because you care about the Miracle Mile. You all are here because you care. Everyone in this room, from the ad hoc to the public to the city to SJCOG to Caltrans, everyone who is here cares about the Miracle Mile. And so we want to make sure that when we do have the opportunity to speak, we remember that everyone here cares. Could care for different reasons, for growing their businesses, because we've lost on the mile. Whatever your motivation, you are here because we care. And so let's please respect that everyone here cares when we have time for public comment and questions. All right, we have a couple other housekeeping items we would like to share before the meeting officially gets started, and I'm going to hand the mic over to Linda.
Thanks, Joey. I will begin with the Caltrans non-discrimination policy. The California Department of Transportation under Title VI of Civil Rights Act of 1964 ensures no person in the United States shall, on the ground of race, color, or national origin, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any program or activity receiving federal financial assistance. Caltrans will make every effort to ensure non-discrimination in all of its services, programs, and activities, whether they are federally funded or not, and that the services and benefits are fairly distributed to all people, regardless of race, color, or national origin. In addition, Caltrans will facilitate meaningful participation in the transportation planning process in a non-discriminatory manner. Related federal statutes, remedies, and state laws further those protections to include sex, disability, religion, sexual orientation, and age. For more information, please feel free to contact the information that's shared on the screen. Some other reminders: this meeting is currently being live streamed and recorded on YouTube. For the audience who's joining in virtually, you are welcome to share comments and questions in the comments section. We'll do our best to bring your voice into the room throughout the evening. Additionally, for those who are participating in person, if you need some Spanish translation, we have Pearl Lozoya, Project Analyst of Caltrans District 10, joining us. Pearl, can you repeat what I just said in Spanish, please?
Sí, si necesitan interpretación en español, aquí estoy para asistirles. Gracias.
Thank you. And if you're interested in more resources regarding the Miracle Mile project, feel free to follow this QR code that Joey so nicely put up on the screen for us. And if you have any questions or comments throughout the evening or even after the meeting, feel free to email Stockton Miracle Mile at dot.ca.gov. Thank you. I'll hand this mic over to Kevin now to go ahead and officially call this meeting to order.
Now it's time for everybody to hear my voice, so I'll turn on my mic. I want to call a meeting to order. This is the fourth and final public meeting for the Miracle Mile Ad Hoc Work Group to gather feedback from the public and share work we've completed over the last 8 months. The purpose of the Ad Hoc Work Group is to provide direction to the City of Stockton on how to transform the Miracle Mile into a safe, vibrant, and economically robust business district that will be a premier Central Valley destination for residents, visitors, students, and new business enterprises. We will have an opportunity to hear from the Ad Hoc Work Group during this meeting, but I want to acknowledge all the hard work from everyone up here. It's been impressive, the amount of time and meetings that we've all engaged in, and to not have anybody drop off essentially through the whole process is pretty amazing. Thank you to each and every one of you for being so committed and passionate about this project. Special thanks to all the members of the subcommittees. A lot of folks from the public joined us when we started our deep dives in studying the different initiatives and needed feedback from more of the public. And without the help of other public individuals, we would not have been able to create as robust of a report as we have. If you are a member of the public and served on one of these 7 committees, please stand up. And lastly, thank you to everyone for being here in person and virtually. So next, we're going to move on to this meeting's overview. Jean's going to take that over.
Thank you, Kevin. I want to share and echo Kevin's appreciation for everyone that was involved and how much time everybody devoted to this. We calculated it out, and it was more than 1,100 hours in meetings. So now you know why you're all so tired, right? So and there were 36 additional individuals who participated in the subcommittees, and you see the 7 of them outlined there, some of the highlights of some of the things that were discussed. And many of those 36 people were in multiple subcommittees and attending meetings. So again, to see the community support and the energy that was around this was just so encouraging throughout. So now I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we can expect for today's meeting. We are going to present the conceptual design report, which is available online. There is a Caltrans site. If you just Google Caltrans and Miracle Mile, it'll take you right to it. And the whole complete report will be there and available for you, as well as notes from previous meetings. During the meeting today, we will have time for public comments, both in person and virtually, to respond to the report. Then we will take a vote from members of the ad hoc committee to hopefully affirmatively approve submittal of the report to the city. We will amend the ad hoc charter that was approved at a previous public meeting, which will then become part of the report. And then we will conclude with some closing comments from our city manager, Harry Black, and our assembly member virtually. So now I'm going to hand it off to Kevin, who will take us through the formal roll call.
Okay. Thank you, Jean. In accordance with the charter approved at the first public meeting, we have community representation on the ad hoc work group. Please raise your hand when your name is called. The first individual is not here. Assembly member representing Miracle Mile, Assembly member Carlos Villaputua will be not here. He's at the Capitol, and so Israel is here this evening. Representing residents of Miracle Mile area. Jeff Gamboni. Chip Hanker, he has an excused absence. Philip Herrera. Ted Leland is joining us virtually. Hello, Ted. Howard Seligman. Representing business owners with property on Miracle Mile and member of Miracle Mile Improvement District. Co-chair Kevin Doherty. I'm here. Representing business owners with no property on the Miracle Mile and member of Miracle Mile Improvement District. Jonathan Hernandez. Representing Miracle Mile business owner who is not part of Miracle Mile Improvement District. Joanne Chappelle. Joanne's not here, she's got an excused absence. Representing commercial property owner with no business on Miracle Mile. Rex Datt. Representing University of the Pacific, my co-chair, Gene Callahan. Representing Delta College, Cameron Ferens. Representing developers, Kevin Hernandez. Representing local service clubs, Diana Lowry. Representing architects, civil engineers, traffic engineers, or land use and urban planners, Paris Allen and Carrie Sullivan. Representing cyclists who commute to the Miracle Mile, Jerry Ennie, and Jerry is participating virtually. Representing Stockton Chamber of Commerce, Reverend Dwight Williams. Representing Asian American Chamber of Commerce, Les Fong. And representing local farmer markets, Emily Ballas. Okay, very good. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Jean to introduce presentation of report.
So we're going to turn it back over to Joey and Linda, and they're going to read us through the 269-page report. They're going to read it to us now. So actually, they're going to walk us through the executive summary, which brings us a lot of the key highlights. But I made that joke because I want to encourage all of you who are interested in hearing some more details to actually find the report online and read through the appendix, because there's a lot of very good data in there, and not everything that we think is something that should be brought forward for the Miracle Mile will be covered tonight. Again, lots of detail there that I think you'll all enjoy seeing what is to come.
Thank you, Jean. All right, page 1, Once Upon a Time. All right, as Jean referenced, the website, you can scan the QR code on the screen. For those of you that are virtually, you can also scan the QR code, as well as in the comments section. I believe Linda is posting the link for the Caltrans website, where you can access this beautiful 269-page document. What you have in front of you for saving trees and printing costs is only the executive summary. So all of you have the executive summary, but you can access the entire report at the Caltrans website. So you've heard some of the highlights already, and want to just reiterate a couple things. Going through this executive summary, the ad hoc work group was formed in October of 2023 and has worked through May 2024. The executive summary encapsulates a summary of the process, the background, as well as the key concepts that were being recommended to the city. In the full document report, you will see all of the ideas, as well as all of the concepts that were evaluated, including the final list of concepts that were further detailed out. So this process began back in 2022 when Assemblymember Carlos Villalpudua brought forth Assembly Bill 179, and which included $20 million to the city of Stockton for pedestrian crossing upgrades, public safety improvements, and revitalization at the Miracle Mile. The legislation also called for the formation of an ad hoc work group. Hence, we are all here today. This has been an effort in part through Caltrans, the city of Stockton, the Assembly Member's Office, SJCOG, San Joaquin Council of Governments, coordinating, managing, and helping plan this whole process from behind the scenes, including the fund transfer agreement, which was able to move the $20 million to the city. The process that was utilized over the last several months is known as value engineering or value analysis, and includes several key phases that were utilized, a modified version that were utilized to help us get through this process. The first being an information phase, where there was a lot of information gathered and best practices and standards that were studied across the state. Then we have the creativity phase, which includes the generation of ideas and brainstorming, which the ad hoc as well as the public participated in at the second public meeting. Then there was an evaluation phase where we actually took all of those ideas to assess and determine the feasibility of those ideas and determine which ones should move forward. And then the development phase, which is most of this report. Includes a lot of details in the concepts of how they add value to the Miracle Mile. So, as stated before, this has been an eight-month project. The ad hoc work group has met 17 times in working sessions to prepare and go through all of this content. There's been 4 public meetings, including today. There have been numerous subcommittee meetings, which some of you have been a part of the 7 subcommittees that are formed. There's been countless hours that we can't account for, individual research and discussions that have taken place with private sector and nonprofit organizations, as well as the ad hoc work group and subcommittee members. As Jean mentioned already, I just want you to sit with this, 1,100 hours cumulatively on the improvement for the Miracle Mile. 1,100 hours on top of everyone's day job to improve a part of the city that all of you care so much about. So, the information phase consisted of several presentations. The first being at the first public meeting, Caltrans District 10 Active Transportation Portfolio Manager, Charles Carroll, sat with all of us at the public meeting and gave a presentation on active transportation, making sure that the public as well as the ad hoc group was somewhat familiar with some basic concepts about active transportation, or also known as complete streets. Charles also met with the ad hoc in addition to dive deeper into some active transportation discussions with concepts that were specific to the Miracle Mile. The ad hoc has sat down with the City of Livermore Community Development Director, Paul Spence, who shared insights and the impact of First Street's revitalization efforts in Livermore. Also meeting with Marco Lamandri, who's the president of New City America and serves as an improvement district management firm. They worked with Little Italy and their improvement district on helping to improve the pedestrian area and drive attendance or participation in Little Italy. They sat with the City of Santa Monica's mobility manager, Jason Cliglier, who highlighted key concepts that talked about pedestrian, bicyclists, and transit improvements to Colorado Avenue Esplanade in the City of Santa Monica. And lastly, also met with the executive director for the Gas Lamp Quarter Association, Michael Trimble, who talked about ongoing gas lamp promenade project improvements in San Diego. So in addition to all those presentations, the ad hoc work group participated in 2 walking tours, one of Miracle Mile in October of 2023, that gave them the opportunity to see the current conditions, the roads, the sidewalks, the storefronts, the parking lots, the landscape. And then another walking tour in January 2024 of Minor Avenue. The city graciously offered a tour, which allowed us to see, kind of compare apples to apples with a recent city improvement project that had comparable dollars at equal distance to the Miracle Mile, and some of the same concepts that you'll see in the report as well. So, information phase did not stop there. There was continuous researching going on during all of the other phases. But moving into creativity phase, the ad hoc work group participated in a working session that they brainstormed, and then the second public meeting, there was additional brainstorming with many of you. Through that effort, 209 ideas were generated. 209 ideas generated to improve the Miracle Mile. The areas of focus that those ideas circled around were business development, Caldwell Park, civil improvement, community engagement, mobility, placemaking, and security and lighting. Through those areas of focus, 7 subcommittees were formed, originally 6, and then through discussions with the ad hoc, a 7th subcommittee focusing on Caldwell Park was developed. So, with all of 209 ideas, we move into the evaluation phase, and this is where the subcommittees came to be key players. There were several meetings that took place at the subcommittee levels. Will the subcommittee chairs please raise your hand and be acknowledged? Emily, that is you too. So they chaired this effort with the executive liaisons, who are co-chairs serving on all of these subcommittees to be part of those discussions and evaluating all of those concepts. Those 209 ideas were determined, which ones were determined to move forward based on 5 criteria. That includes aesthetics, alignment to the legislation, connectivity, connecting bicyclists, pedestrians, transit, and businesses to the community, the functionality, how the impact has on the connectivity, or excuse me, the functionality of the project, and maintainability. An important concept was the maintainability of these concepts in the long term. So once that was done, the subcommittees then resumed the development part of this process. We had a public meeting to share the evaluated concepts, get feedback, and incorporate the feedback from the public at that 3rd meeting. And that leads us to our 4th meeting. In this report, you will see all of the development concepts that are supported right after the executive summary. So if some of you have already pulled it up online, you can see the full report in those development concepts based by subcommittees. In those reports, or in those development forms, that includes the pros and cons of it to the best of our ability this early in the phase, determining what are the advantages and disadvantages to this concept, weighing any risks that could be identified this early on, talking about the importance of this effort, all in the report. And so from the evaluation and the final concepts that were moved forward, there were 41 concepts. So 209, 41 were decided to be moved forward that are in the final report for the city to design around. In the executive summary, it includes the order of preference that the ad hoc work group suggested that the ideas be focused on. This is the list of overall design and, this is the list of most importance as well as greatest impact that the ad hoc work group felt should be considered for this project. The first one being improving lighting levels throughout the Miracle Mile. This one, out of all of them, was unanimously marked as probably the most important item to the project. Included in this also is acknowledging that the city and the design firm that gets hired to actually design the concept for the Miracle Mile will be the ones to determine the appropriate phasing of the project using their judgment based on what makes the most sense for certain elements. So if, for instance, if you're tearing up the road, you most likely would want to also lay the infrastructure for future growth. For those of us that are present in the room, you will see 7 of the highlighted design concepts in the back of the room. Those 7 were the top ones for each of the subcommittees. So you'll see one representation or one concept for each subcommittee that was the highest voted, highest level of preference that you'll see in the report. For those of you that are in person, you are welcome to look into the actual report and comb through the 269 pages to see which the posters that were created here. In conclusion, these concepts are most likely going to cost more than $20 million. And so it is recommended that by the ad hoc work group that the city will work with key stakeholders, which could potentially be the design firm, to identify and secure any additional funds to help support this effort. There's also an acknowledgement that one way of generating additional funds for landscaping, lighting, and infrastructure and security could be through a landscape and lighting assessment district. And for that to get supported from the city, the ad hoc is also willing to back it in future measures. Lastly, the responsibility of the success of this Miracle Mile project does not fall solely on the city of Stockton. It is the hope of the ad hoc work group to continue to involve the community and to work in partnership to support the development of the district. So it will take everyone in this room and everyone who lives and works near the Miracle Mile to see it thrive beyond just this report. That is the executive summary for the Miracle Mile Improvement Project for the conceptual design report by the ad hoc work group. We are now going to open it up to public comment. We will be facilitating the public comment and inviting those of you that are in person in the room to form a line over here off to the side to where I'm pointing, and have you come up to the podium. We have our faithful timer for those of you that have been here in past public meetings. We have our timer that we're setting for 1 minute. The music is actually set. My daughter did not play with it, so it's going to just beep instead of playing a song. And we will move through all of the folks that are would like to speak. If you'd like to speak for more than a minute, Jason, you are welcome to jump back into the line and speak a second time after all folks have had an opportunity to speak. We are also, Linda will be facilitating the public comments or chat from those that are participating virtually. There is a lag time for virtual participants, so they're hearing us roughly 45 seconds later. So just want those that are participating virtually to know that we will get to your comments. And also your comments may get addressed earlier because of the lag time on YouTube. All right, so first public comment speaker, please come on up.
I mean, I guess I was called out, so. Hello, everybody. My name's Jason Laurenti, manager of Ave on the Mile and newly elected board member. I want to express big thanks to Carlos Villaputa, the ad hoc committee, and everybody that's been associated with all the subcommittees and making this whole thing come together. I think we can all agree that it's been a very tedious process, and through patience and teamwork, lots have been accomplished. I wanted to use my final opportunity to express two thoughts that I feel should be paramount going forward, and I'm super excited to hear they were already spoke about. First thing, 20 million is not a lot, and I hope that the same energy was brought by this committee and the public to create the hundreds of ideas to a better Miracle Mile could be continued with an aggressive approach to search out the 3 to 4 times that we need. Second thing goes back to the very root, the change. We cannot lose forest for the trees. Lighting, realistic safety measurements, and traffic calming techniques. Going forward, I really hope that's the direction with the design process. Thank you. 1 minute. I told you.
Now is not the time to be shy. Thank you, Jason, for being brave and being first. Who would like to be brave and be second?
My name is Denise Aguilar Mendez. I just want to say thank you to all the hours that you have put in for this. I do not live near Miracle Mile, nor do I have a business there, but I live here in Stockton, and I love this city, and I know that this is a model of what we can do for the rest of the area here. So thank you for all of the hard work you put in. I look forward to seeing even more revitalization in Miracle Mile. Thank you.
Thank you for being brave number 2. How about if we take the label of brave off this? Who wants to be number 3?
Good evening. My name is Julie Dunning. I do live right off the Miracle Mile. I have a question and a statement. The transfer agreement. Is the $20 million going to be held in a separate account by the city with quarterly reporting on the expenditures? I think there's been some special funds within the city that we've kind of lost track of, so I want to make sure that doesn't happen here. Secondly, in addition to complete streets, Miracle Mile needs a road diet. We need to stop approving projects that have drive-through capability that encourages traffic. I get the benefit of both coffee places catty corner to each other on the Miracle Mile and traffic flying down my street to get to them. The third is no removal of trees along the Miracle Mile with the improvements. They're historic trees. We need to plant more. It needs to be a walkable community like Lodi and Modesto. Thank you.
Thank you. Does there are two parts maybe to respond to? The first being the agreement and the quarterly reporting. City Manager.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Okay. In terms of financial management, Stockton, albeit historically back in 2012 had some issues, today it has no issues in keeping track of money. We have clean audit opinions. We have outside auditors that basically do a very good job of assessing, analyzing, poking and prodding every year in terms of our financial activities. We have clean audit opinions each year, and that's not easy to do. So I'm not aware of anything that we've lost. In this case, as soon as we've received the funds from the state, as with all funds that we receive either from the federal government, the state, et cetera, they go into a separate account, their own account, and everything associated with that account is tracked in a very micro fashion. So the $20 million has its own room in our financial management system, and everything that is associated with ins and outs of that room are recorded very finitely, so you won't have any issues with that. Hopefully that answered the question.
Thank you. Do you want to respond to the reporting?
I'm Sylvia Dayak. I'm the investment planning manager for Caltrans District 10. On the fund transfer agreement, Caltrans is requiring the city to report back to us every 6 months. That's at the end of July and end of January. Those are the 2 dates that the city is required to report back to us on the $20 million.
If I may also add to that, Joey, it's our intent to establish a project webpage on our website. So anybody who's interested and has got the time will be able to go and surf and have as much fun as they want tracking this project. In terms of from a financial standpoint, as well as from a project management standpoint, whatever they want to do, if they've got the time to do it, there will be a webpage specifically dedicated to this project.
Awesome, thank you. Ad Hoc Workgroup, any response you would like to make about comments, trees, landscape, the road diet?
Yes, yes, yes. So I appreciate your comments. Those were very similar to comments that we heard from many folks and are incorporated in the final recommendations.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Michael Maderi. I need my 60 seconds. I'm a professor at UOP at Pacific, and I've been part of the mobility subcommittee advocating for easy transportation for individuals on campus to get down to the mile. And add bike lanes along Pacific Avenue is the way to do that. I'm a little disappointed in how far down that is on the list of priorities. I think it should be highlighted as as above some of these other ones. I won't go through my own opinion, but the real point I want to make is that there's consensus in the mobility subcommittee that these bike lanes should be class 4 bike lanes. Physical barrier between the automobile lane and the bike lane. Painting a white strip doesn't encourage anybody to go risk their lives. So I don't know if it's too late to modify it, I don't know, but I would again like to urge that.
Would anyone like to respond pertaining to the bike lanes?
I was not a part of the mobility subcommittee, but my understanding of reading through the final document of this is class 4 bike lanes are noted in the full version of the document, just not in this truncated list. I also want to note, some of the items, the way that these were ordered, lower cost items may have gotten pushed forward because they seemed just easy to implement. For instance, some of these are simply reprogramming the lighting, the current street lights, so that we get, safer pedestrian crossing, which would be free. So there's some, there's some other reasons these got prioritized as well, including items like that. But yeah.
Other comments?
Hi, my name's Patricia Crater, and I live near the Mile. I'm also a UOP alumni. I read briefly when I walked in your report, and I saw you're going to have you want to have cameras, but I'm curious as to know like what San Diego and Livermore did for their vagrancy problem, because we have a big one here. When I walk down the Mile, there's often people sleeping on the sidewalk, and I don't have a solution to homelessness. I don't think any of us do, and I don't want to kick it down the road. But it is an attractive thing to be walking down. It is not going to bring people to want to shop or eat at the Mile when they have to step over people who are sleeping. And I don't want to sound cold-hearted, but again, I don't have a solution, and I just wondered if anybody had addressed that. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Bradley. Oh,
Sorry,
I'm
real quick, I want to check to see if anyone wants to respond.
Yeah, we're going to sort of just comment quickly on some of the very important points that you brought up. It's an issue that we're all working very hard to try to address. We have cameras on maybe about a third or almost a half of the Mile so far. We will continue to move forward to bring additional cameras there. We've added security patrols. It's the ambassador program that works in downtown Stockton that helps between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. so that if anyone is seen at where they shouldn't be, the cameras alert the security company who tells the ambassadors, and they help folks move along. So we are seeing less incidents as the message gets out, right? But there's still work to do for sure. And I think we're all very hopeful that lighting will also help a lot, right? So if you kind of light it up, that sort of helps keep sort of behavior that people don't want lit up, right? Not moving forward. But we appreciate and share your concerns.
Hi, Mike Spradley. My family and I own 3 homes just off the Miracle Mile, and we lived here about 50 years cumulatively. I'm here representing, I'm an adjunct faculty with UOP Economics Department. We're here with Pacific Consulting. And I just want to urge, first of all, thank you for all the great work you've done. The process you've followed has been very meticulous. I also, having been here so long, remember the downtown redevelopment efforts. And I've patronized the theater here downtown in that whole retail area regularly, most recently last week. I just want to comment that I would urge the committee to consider maintenance of all the improvements that are being made as a part of this very much needed project, because I think we have evidence of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars having been spent in downtown Stockton, And now I think many of us have safety concerns walking through, and also cleanliness. Just around the new theater area and all the retail space, it's simply not maintained. Thank you.
Got it.
Someone like to respond?
Yeah, real quick. I just want to thank you for your comments. This group, I know specifically, that was one of our main topics of conversation was maintenance and being able to not only follow through on this project, but maintaining the project too and putting money aside for maintenance. So I know that was a major discussion that will be followed through, and that's important to all of us in this room. And of course, having Pacific students come and Delta students and many students in the community come down and the neighbors, very important to us to maintain the integrity of the Miracle Mile, not just develop it, but maintain that integrity.
Hi, my name is Chayton Farley. I am a part of Pacific Consulting and also an accounting student at UOP. I would just love to ask how UOP and Delta students might be included in this project moving forward, especially at UOP, at the Eberhardt School of Business. We have a lot of passionate students who want to be involved in the community, even if they're from out of country and from other states. I think a project like this would be an amazing opportunity for internships, for jobs for students, and even volunteer opportunities. And I think involving the students in these small businesses and in these projects could really drive more traffic from UOP to the Miracle Mile. So would love to hear how students might be involved. Thank you.
So thank you for your comments. I've had the opportunity to have quite a few discussions, as have my colleagues here, with our dean, Dean Gale. And we've talked about trying to see if we can actually put a formal entrepreneurial center on the mile to make it even easier for businesses to pop in and get advice, whether it be a big business strategy project or help me with my social media marketing. I'm not seeing as much business right now, but I think the opportunities are endless for our students as well as for the businesses there. And I think there's already mutual interest on both sides. We just need to sort of find the way to bring everybody together. So I appreciate your comments and your support.
Real quick. Additionally, what Jean said is 100% correct, but also it goes deeper. A lot of people come to probably each and every one of us and say, hey, I want to open up a business on the Miracle Mile. How do I do that? And there are so many parts to that, right? There are a lot of moving parts to this. So we want to go one step at a time, and I think everybody here has gone through various steps. We want to put that into maybe one nice binder to maybe have a business development entrepreneur of the day paired with a Pacific or Delta student internship. You're right in line with what we were discussing with our team, and that's where we want to head. We want a brick and mortar. We're looking into it. We would like very much our universities to be involved within our community. I think it's time for Pacific to come down a little bit more and meet us on the Miracle Mile. So that's what we're looking forward to. And those of us up here are able to have conversations with the city and know where to go and what square footage you're looking for and what exactly are you looking for. That's what we need. And that would be brilliant to team up with a university.
Thank you. We have time for, Howard.
I just wanted to add, in connection with the issues that have been brought up on the homeless, vagrancy, and maintenance, in addition to the contents of the report, keep in mind that there is a continuing and ongoing responsibility on the part of the city of Stockton to aggressively deal with this particular problem and to establish policies that can mitigate, if not totally eliminate, the issues that have been mentioned by the public.
Thank you.
Just one last comment on the subject that you brought up. I think it's so valuable for the students to be engaged in the mile in so many ways, both from Delta and UOP. And the efforts to have a brick and mortar site is wonderful. And from that could be a strike force of students that have all the skills from business, marketing, social media, et cetera, that can be available to help these businesses who know they need help but don't know where to turn. And the students are there, knowledgeable and capable. And if we have a strike force for these businesses, it only works to enhance the entire mile.
Thank you. Before we take our last in-person public comment, I want to check in for those participating virtually if we have any responses. Linda.
There are currently no comments or questions.
For those participating virtually, if you have any comments, you're welcome to enter them into the chat. Let's go into our last in-person comments.
Sorry for the mask. I kind of have a cold. Anyway, I wanted to say that for the pedestrians that are going to use the mile and walk to these businesses and patronize them, we do need shade trees. I'd like to walk from one end of the mile to the other without having to drag a car along and look for a parking place. It's also good for the bikers too. But you mentioned in here San Diego. Of course, that's a lot cooler climate. There's nothing like Stockton, so please consider large shade trees. Thank you.
Thank you. Response? All right. So that concludes public comment period for this segment on the report. One last thing, and apologies, I did not emphasize this or iterate this, that's in the executive summary. All the concepts, regardless of preference, are going to be included in the full scope of the design by the design firm. So that will help determine what the actual costs and estimates would be for the overall design of the project. That being said, we've had an opportunity to hear a minute from those who wanted to speak publicly, and now we were going to hand the floor over to Jean for ad hoc remarks.
Thanks, Joey. And I'm going to ask everyone on the committee to give their 1 minute, if they would so please. And maybe I'll just sort of start down there. Israel, I don't know if you wanted to say anything, but if folks could sort of say their name first, so folks that are virtually, in case they're not, don't see, so they know who's speaking, and then we'll move forward. Thank you.
Just hi, my name is Israel Landa, Chief of Staff for the Assembly Member and designee for, because he's not here, unfortunately, sends his regards. Obviously, you'll see him later. He's actually in floor session right now. Floor session is going a little bit longer than usual because it's House of Origin deadline, where they're voting over 500 bills right now. So obviously, he's not here. But I just want to say on his behalf that, you know, I've been working with this group for the last, I don't know how long. I do remember when things did arise, the issues arose, and we decided to tackle this on. And being part of this group has been really great. I think everybody has a lot of insight, a lot of passion. We've had a lot of very passionate discussions about what we care about in the Miracle Mile. And I think this report, if hopefully everybody gets a chance to read it, and you should read it, because a lot of folks put a lot of heart and soul into it. And I think we do have a great project. We want to also thank the city manager for you know, putting in the time and effort, which most cities do not do. So want to appreciate everybody here, and on behalf of the member, which you'll hear from him later, just want to say thank you to everybody, and obviously the public for being involved in this process.
Good evening. I'm Philip Herrera, a resident ad hoc member. I have to start by thanking the Assembly member. I work in California government as my real job, and it could be a ego-bruising, pride-swallowing experience dealing with the state budget. So going and getting $20 million is just, I can't tell you how impressive that is and how great the benefit will be for us. So a shout out to them. This illustrious group was amazing. I want to make sure that I acknowledge the consultants. That's not an easy task to lead, you know, such a diverse, you know, strong-minded group. So great job on that. But at the end of the day, you know, this $20 million, the way I understand it, it will supplement a city budget, not supplant it. So the planners are going to go and make improvements, I mean, real improvements to the mile, and I'm excited about that. And the group was, you know, forward-looking enough to ensure that our involvement with it will be part of the plan going forward. So thank you. It was a pleasure serving with you.
Good evening, I'm Diana Lowry. I'm part of 6 maternal generations of the Miracle Mile. And I just have to say, none of us would be here tonight if it wasn't for the vision of Assemblymember Villapudua, who searched out the funding, who worked with Caltrans, who worked with the city of Stockton and various entities, and brought us all together as an ad hoc committee to work on this. He had the history of being part of Stockton in the Miracle Mile, so he knew what the mile had been, what its current status is, and what the future could be. And all of us brought the passion to that, to understand where we have been, the challenges right now from lighting, security, and safety that are vital to all of us sitting in this room to make the Miracle Mile what it could be. And we know how much better it can be than what it currently is. So I just am thrilled to have been part of this group. Yes, we've had many passionate discussions, but all for the good. So thank you.
This report, which reflects an extensive amount of work on behalf of this committee and the consultants and staff, is just step number 1. What happens thereafter is going to be up to the committee and to the public to make sure that the city of Stockton does its part on a timely basis to implement the contents of this report, which includes the selection of the consultant who will draft the proposal for review and public comment, and then the implementation of that report, once approved, by the city to the extent that funds are available. Without the ongoing assistance, not only of this committee, but you and the public, and those not here, but part of the public, will spell defeat, and we can't afford to do that.
Hi, my name is Emily Ballas, and I was an added late member for Caldwell Park. And that just tells you the vision that this committee had because they added the park to the whole project. And I think that your public comments tonight also are very well received because we debated them heartily, sometimes passionately and sometimes deliberately, and we didn't always agree. But one of the things that happens in these kinds of things is when you have someone with a vision like Carlos Villapudua, who gave us the money so that we can now go off and create what we've all wanted to create on the mile for years. And so I'm thankful to be a part of this, and we're thankful that you all come here and are engaged with us as well. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Jeff Gamboni, and I was chair of the Security and Lighting Subcommittee. I want to call out in particular the leadership of Gene Callahan and Kevin Doherty. I don't think that's been really identified as so important to the success of this committee, and the fact that they worked together I thought was so cool, and that the original committee insisted that there be a co-chair relationship, and so thank you so much for your leadership. I want to thank the members of the Security and Lighting Committee. You were generous in your participation, the gift of your time and your opinions. And it's really gratifying to know that we all agreed that enhanced lighting throughout the entire footprint was universally identified as a priority. I mean, that's not only on the avenue proper, but on side streets leading to our shared parking facilities. Lighting's key to security. It's an important signifier of a modern shopping district. People, like moths, are drawn to light. Light makes a place feel safer, and it helps us make decisions that create safe outcomes. You know, this will work hand in hand with our next priority, of course, the expansion of the current security camera system, which is just coming online this spring. You know, as we look forward, we are imagining the selection of the design team and inviting the public, of course, to remain engaged. There will be more public meetings where the design proposals to be crafted by the designers will be presented for public comment as the project evolves. Your participation is key to the success of the project. Thank you so much.
I'm Reverend Dwight Williams, and representing the Greater Stockton Chamber of Commerce, I am excited to be a participant in this process. My family was raised here, and I used to hear stories that my grandparents used to talk about the beauty of the Miracle Mile, and they would talk about it back off in days when I was younger and I had hair, and they would discuss how vibrant the community was, how passionate they enjoyed going down there and enjoying the nightlife. They've passed away right now, and I am personally honored to be a part of the process of taking this Miracle Mile to its next step of its development. This is an exciting time for all of us. As it was mentioned off in the conclusion of this report, the work doesn't stop here. It only is just beginning. And everybody in this room, I want to say thank you to our co-chairs, to Assemblymember Valapudua, and to each and every one of you in this audience. We are in a team, and you know what the acronym of TEAM stands for? Together, everyone accomplishes more. Let's get started, Stockton. Thank you so much.
I thought you guys were gonna go, but I also want to thank Kevin and Jean, our chair, both of them chairs, co-chairs, for all the work and keeping us together. I also want to thank Israel. Thank you, Israel, when Carlos wasn't there to answer our questions, to be such a vibrant part of our group. And I also want to thank Sylvia, Giuseppe, Linda. There's a lot of different personalities up here. And for you guys to really, Giuseppe, for you to hold it together and keep us on track meant a lot. This process was a little more personal for me because I'm an owner on the Miracle Mile, and I was a direct hit of an incident that we need more safety. So moving forward, we're accomplishing those things with lighting, with crosswalks, so many things coming our way. And I just want to say thanks to the community because this is a long time coming. And as co-chair Kevin Doherty says, let's get it shovel ready because we have a lot of work to do in the process. So let's get it going, guys. We're better than this.
I'm Paris Allen, a designer at LDA Partners, an architecture firm on the Mile, and a homeowner on the Miracle Mile. And I'm just so honored to be included in this committee and this effort, huge community effort. I worked on public projects for a while in my career now, and it's not common you see so much community support for a public project like this, and also to see the city give us the opportunity to provide so much feedback at the front end of this project is really amazing and critical. So I see this moving forward in a very positive way where we get to continue to provide this feedback and see a project that really reflects our community and provides exactly what we're looking for in terms of safety, walkability, and providing a space for a bolstered business district. So thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Hernandez. I'm a business owner on the Miracle Mile. I'll keep it short. I'm super happy and thankful that I got to work with all these folks, and thankful to Assemblymember Valapudua for taking initiative in getting us the funds. And kind of going back to what Kevin Hernandez said about a direct incident that happened on the mile that kind of brought a lot of this together. We had a friend, one of his employees, who lost his life on the Miracle Mile a couple years back. And it was pretty hard hitting. It affected all of us, and I just want to, continually remember him as unfortunately, without him, we wouldn't be here. But we're here, and it's making things move forward. And so I'm thankful for the opportunity. And thank you, Giuseppe and Linda, for keeping this together. You guys are awesome.
I'm a Cameron Farron student at Delta College, and I'd like to acknowledge all the teamwork that we had between the city of Stockton, the committee, the public, the subcommittees, Joey and Linda. And I'd also like to acknowledge Chad. You've been to every meeting I can remember. And yeah, so thank you to everybody.
My name's Carrie Sullivan, sixth generation resident of Stockton, retired community development director from the county, so I did this sort of thing for a living. I have been overwhelmed with the competency and all of the work done by our consultants. They have been extraordinary, and I think they are unsung heroes. I also had the pleasure of co-chairing with my new friend Paris Allen, and she is a rock star. She made me, a dinosaur who is no tech, look like I knew what I was doing, putting together agendas, and I can't thank her enough. This has been so much fun. I'm really hopeful for what's going to happen along the mile, and I can't wait to watch it unfold, and I'm so glad we also included the park, Caldwell Village Park, because I live across the street, and we do have some issues, and I know that these are things that we can probably address. So thank you so much, and it's so exciting to see so many members of the public at this meeting. That's when processes work. So thank you for spending your evening here tonight. Thanks.
I'm going to jump in so you can have the last word, okay? I'm probably the newbie here, not having lived in the city for not even 4 years yet. People ask me all the time, what do you like about Stockton, or do you like being here? And my answer is always, it's the sense of community that drew us here and keeps us here. And working on this committee and through this effort just personified that. So that's what makes Stockton strong. I would like to say thank you to Chad Reed and to Harry Black for all the time that they invested and how much time they came to the meetings after very busy work days to spend the evenings with us. So thank you. As we talked about earlier, we had the opportunity to see what some other cities have done as part of their revitalization. So we now know what is possible, and I see it happening down Pacific Avenue, and I look forward to, in the not-too-distant future, our city officials accepting national awards for our revitalization project.
Thank you, Jean. Well, listening to everybody and having gone through this experience, I feel like I'm surrounded by visionaries. I'm surrounded by a lot of passion for our community. And I've got gratitude for being with all of these individuals as part of the committee, and gratitude for my city. I'm a native Stocktonian. I love my city, and I love opportunities to contribute and give back because it's given me so much. And I get excited when I see a capital improvement project that usually doesn't get a lot of a public fanfare. And why has this one got so much fanfare? Well, let's look at the primary reason. We won the lottery with the state of California through Caltrans and the leadership of our assembly member, Carlos Villaputua. The Caltrans folks have been outstanding. Staff in Carlos's office have been outstanding, Israel, Sylvia. But what I've observed too about this project that made it so great and given us all so much passion is that it's been a different project in that it started with the community members. We were asked to get involved from the get-go, which typically never happens, very unique. So we get impaneled and we immediately start to figure out what are our problems, study the problems, and be imaginative, which we were. And then we started to create ideas, we evaluated those ideas, and then we developed the concepts. That's a process that did take 1,100 plus hours. You never see that. I think it's a model. I think what I'm taking away from this is it's a good way for people of the community to contribute and to participate and make your community a better community. We are now, tonight, going to be handing a report based on our work product, and it will give the city a big head start from a pre-planning standpoint as to the vision of what the community wants. And that's what I feel really good about. I think we've got some clear vision, and it will help the city hire the right consultant, and we will stay involved to make sure the success of this project being completed on time occurs. The real success of this project, though, will be in whether or not it will have enduring sustainability. That means it's going to be about maintenance. And it's not just the city, as Giuseppe says, it will be about us and the roles that we play moving forward in maintaining the Miracle Mile. So thank all of you for all of your contribution, all your efforts, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
So I want to say thank you to everybody once again. I would now like to make it official, so we will call for a vote to approve the report that hopefully you've all read in detail. So I'm going to seek a motion from a member of the ad hoc committee to approve the report.
I move the adoption.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Great. All in favor of moving the report to be submitted to the city in accordance with the state statute and in service to the people of our community, please raise your hand. All opposed, please raise your hand. So count by a vote of how many then? Oh, we have a few on virtually. We have unanimous vote. Thank you. So in accordance with our charter, the report is approved. Kevin's just going to walk us through one more piece of business, and that's just approval to amend our charter.
Yes. As mentioned, we're not going away. We're going to continue to work with the city as the customer and the partner to provide support to the city and this whole project's manifestation. We will now move to the next order of business to amend the ad hoc work group charter. Currently, the state statute only asks for the ad hoc work group to make recommendations to the city of Stockton. Through the course of this effort and through building a stronger relationship with the city manager, Harry Black, offered that we can meet regularly with the city on progress of this project. Here is our amended language to the charter to extend the life of the work group. The work group will remain active through the duration of the project until construction is completed by January the 1st, 2028. The City of Stockton will share quarterly progress updates with the work group. The charter and the amendment can be found in the last appendix of the report online. Okay, before we vote on the amendment to the charter, we will now have time for public comments. I'm going to call on Joey and Linda again to facilitate public comments.
Thanks, Kevin. We do have a comment that came in a little bit earlier virtually, so let's start there, and then we'll go to public comments in the room.
We have John Cavano joining on virtually. He commented, "Thank you for the thoughtful report. I live near the mile and work at Delta College. I can't wait to see the safe mobility options, including walking, biking, busing, and shuttles. Thank you."
Thank you. All right. So, you know the routine. For those of you that are in person, we have 1 minute. If you'd like to start a line over here, or as folks want to come up, they can come on up. I ask you to state your name, and then you've got a minute to go.
I only get a minute. I'm a politician.
You can jump in the back of the line too.
Get back in. I just want to thank everybody involved. Carlos, obviously, and all you folks. 1,100 hours is a lot of time. Being in government life, I get it. One of the two things that's cool is coming through the county. So yesterday we approved, WorkNet had $2 million and they transferred the funds. So they're doing an app, it's called Blue Dot, for local small businesses. So if you go spend money at the restaurant or whatever business it is, you get credits, and then those credits can be spent at another business. So that's $1 million sitting there for that part of how to help small business. The other part is the Stockton Takes Action Against Retail Theft. I don't know if you guys have been watching that. I gave $15,000 of my discretionary funds to start the app. And it's the first time that the district attorney has partnered with the Chamber of Commerce. And so we're going to have an app so that they can directly report to the district attorney's office. That also, we just gave another $1 million to help support that. It's for businesses to buy and support. I'll wait. Do I get another minute? Is there anyone behind me? So they'll $2,000. So everybody get over to the chamber because we just approved that. So you can get $2,000 for any business that needs security cameras inside. So it's a huge advantage. I mean, we're taking action, and I think it's huge that what you guys are doing. Like you said, lights. I went to El Dorado School back in the day in Hardingway. I'm a Boris Parker. So I used to walk the Miracle Mile many, many moons ago. But I think it's important to get back to that. You know what I mean? Safe, effective leadership and getting together, because it's about collaboration. And without collaborating, you don't have anything. So the county listens. We're here. Obviously, I'm here. This is in my district. I'm born and raised here, so I love it. I love all the participating. You got some rock stars up here, and so thank you for spending your time doing this, and especially in my district. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Two other people in the public actually yielded their time, so you could have gone an extra minute and a half.
I got more.
Other public comments? Last call for public comments.
I have a quick one, if that's okay, Giuseppe.
You'll have an opportunity in a moment. Why you always gotta jump the gun, Kevin? Any other public comments? And then we will hand the floor back to Jean for comments from and discussion from the ad hoc.
Thank you. Before we do that and jump to Kevin, I just want to make sure for clarification, because when folks heard the date there, what we're really talking about is adding this extra paragraph to the charter that was previously approved. And when the funds were originally approved at the state level and the amendment came through, there was a stipulation the funds needed to be used by January 1st, 2028. So ideally, we're celebrating much earlier than that, but that's why we just want to make sure that that sort of end date's in there, so that folks know. So please know we're shooting for much earlier, and I know the city's shooting for much earlier, but just for clarification for why we're going through this process. So anybody else on the committee? Kevin, you wanted to say something?
Just really quick in passing, I know that there's always new city council, new people coming into the city. And I just want to say that I see people here at this meeting that are running for office. Thank you for sharing our vision. We look forward to whoever wins working with you, but we're happy that you're here, because that tells me that you're involved, that you're here for a reason and that you care. We appreciate that, and I hope to work with whoever in the future. We want to make sure that this city is on the up, so thank you.
Does anybody else have a comment?
Yeah, just one. When I first saw the revision or the amendment to the charter, I was dubious about, putting some sort of timeline in the city to get back to us. And I stand corrected, because the city was okay with that. And I rethought about it. It's a great idea. So I just want to thank the city manager and all of his staff for being so accommodating for us, and looking forward to this. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I wanted to just stress how wonderful these consultants have been to work with. And I've worked with lots and lots of different consultants in my professional life. And I have to say that this group, Joey and his crew, have been the most accessible and the most responsive consultants that I've ever worked with. And I just want to tell you how much gratitude I have for you and respect for you as professionals. Thank you.
Carrie, I will unblock your phone number from my phone now. Thank you.
Any of my other colleagues have any comments?
I wanted to reiterate Philip's comment about the city being so collaborative with us through this process, but also being willing to collaborate with us moving forward. I think it's really wonderful and, will only lead to a project that the community really, really wants to see. So it's really appreciated.
I am ready. Will you lead us?
You're gonna ask?
Well, I would move that we adopt the amendment to the charter.
I'll second that.
Anybody oppose? Sustain? Abstain? It passes unanimously. Thank you.
Now the fun part. It's been a pleasure working with everyone on this effort. We're already at that point. I want to thank again the city for communication, getting to know Chad, Public Works Director, and the good communication we've had with him throughout, because he's been at all our meetings, and the excellent communication we've also had with Harry Black. So it's not usual that a city manager will be attending these meetings like Harry has. We recognize that, and we thank you. So at this point, we're ready to hand over our report to Harry. So Harry, if you'd be so kind as to meet us at the podium.
And then we'll let Harry say a few words, and then again, we will go to the assembly member. And Harry, you get more than a minute, just so you know.
Hopefully I won't take more than a minute.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's cool. First, again, as others have done, I want to acknowledge the good work of Assemblymember Carlos Villapudua. Back in the early 80s, when I did my first internship in the public sector, I worked with a state assembly member in Maryland who had a really good reputation, and they coined the term bringing home the bacon, okay? And so Assemblymember Villapudua really epitomizes that. And every time I talk with him or see him, I always think about that. So he's not only helped out the city with respect to this project, but he's also brought home other pieces of bacon on other projects. So he's worked very hard for us. Want to thank Caltrans and all of its efforts. It's made the process very easy. The funds transfer agreement process, I think, was probably about as smooth as anything can be in terms of government. So I just want to thank Caltrans for that. And we're working on another one, again, pursuant to Assemblymember Villapudua as well. Value management strategies, great job. Joey, we probably should give you an award. Because I don't know if you're going to run across anything more challenging than this. You probably will, because you're still very young. But great job with this whole thing in terms of your just intuitiveness and humility and caring about the feelings and views of other people. You really did a great job with that. Ad hoc committee, large committee, lots of different personalities. But again, that's what makes us great and elite as a species on this planet, is our ability
to come together even though we may have differences, not necessarily differences in terms of viewpoints and opinions, but just we're different. Each one of us, we're different, and we think about things differently, but coming together as such a large group, and clearly we know that the Miracle Mile is uniquely passionate as a community, but great work. You've given us a lot to work with, and we're going to do our best to optimize the aspirations and the desires with the money. So the project, as I mentioned, we'll be setting up a dedicated webpage on our website, so anyone who's interested will be able to track the project from start to finish, and digest all the details that they might want to digest. And so what we'll be looking forward to as well is, typically with these projects, you have a 30%, 60%, and 90% design review components. You know, with this project, we'll probably do something pre-30% to share with you all in terms of, because it's not a lot of money. It's good money, but it's not going to get everything done. So what we'll probably charge the design entity with is to come up with probably 2 to 3 conceptual renderings of what might be possible, and then we go with one of them. Okay? Won't have everything, but how do we optimize that list? But again, Jason, I don't believe I've met you before. I don't know if he's still here. Just left. But, you know, again, he really brought us back home in terms of really why this got started in the first place. Lighting, safety, traffic calming, and obviously to the extent that we can incorporate any infrastructure aesthetic enhancements. So anyway, thank you for your work. Look forward to continuing to work with you. And we've got the report. We'll have it officially, and we'll get started.
Congratulations.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ready for the picture? Maybe like.
Okay, sure, there you go.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Assemblymember Carlos Villapudua, you are welcome to turn your camera on and your mic and share any closing remarks.
Thank you all. I just want to apologize. I could not leave today's meeting. We're going over hundreds of bills today, and trust me, I tried. But I want to start by thanking our ad hoc members. Thank for all the hard work. You guys have put over 200 hours. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. Thank to the subcommittee members, the planning team, the city of Stockton, University of the Pacific, thank you so much. I want to thank SJ Cog for providing the venue for our public meetings. I also want to thank the public for their participation in this effort and their continued support as this project moves forward. I want to thank the chairwoman, Ms. Jean Callahan, and our chairman, Mr. Kevin Doherty, for their leadership. Thank you very, very much. I'm very proud of what we have accomplished here, and I want to thank Stockton City Manager Harry Black for being fully engaged in this process. I look forward to continuing to work with him and to see this extraordinary project be completed. I can't speak for everyone, but I am sure I can echo what has been said today, why this project is important to our community. For me, in the city where I grew up, where I went to school, where I raised my family, the Miracle Mile, excuse me, the Miracle Mile is literally Stockton, a place I call home. I am proud to be a strong Stocktonian, to envision the Miracle Mile as a safe place where families come, a college town, a family town, a business-friendly town. As your state legislator, I attended a candlelight vigil 3 years ago in honoring of Casey Brandon. Through their efforts to improve our community, to make it safe, many of you spoke with our office, and we met, and we got a lot of information. Literally, did I know that we would be working on a humongous project. We started to visit many different cities to see the study of other cities, what they did to make it safe, not to create a new wheel, but to create a wheel that does work. We really went to town. This was a lot of uplifting, a lot of work, a lot of meetings in Sacramento, but we really went to work in Sacramento. It wasn't easy. We secured funding for $20 million the first year, and then the next following year, we went again to try to ask for more money. We got $3.1 million more. I want to thank my staff. I want to thank Steve Sievers for attending a lot of the local meetings that we had, but I especially want to thank my chief of staff, Israel Landa. He really worked so hard with many different committees that we had to go through, not just budget, but we had to have many meetings with the speaker, going back and forth. It was a hard lift, but we got it through. And I just want to say by ending, I wish I could have done more, right? But I really want to say that this is the centerpiece of Stockton that I'm very, very passionate and proud of, just like all of you that are there here today. With that, I will pass it back to the chair, and I just wanted to say thank you guys all for your participation today.
Thank you, Carlos. Thank you very much. Okay, that wraps up our meeting. And so, Giuseppe, we ready? All right. Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? There are none. It's unanimous. And this is just the beginning, everybody. It's the beginning of an outstanding project. We're here to support the city. We want your support, so stay in touch with us. Thank you for coming this evening.
As the meeting adjourns, would like to ask if all members of the public, the ad hoc, the city, Caltrans would join in the center next to the Stronger Together sign so we can take a large group photo, and then we'll ask to take ad hoc photos afterwards.